420 MSP. Harry here. Happy and delighted to announce Mike Semel has joined us as one of our rotating analysts in the cannabis vertical. Mike, let's do a hello world. Some our audience, let's assume they don't know you. What is your story?
Okay, Harry. Well, I'm like one of you guys, like one of you. I'm in one of the old guys in this industry. And I started back in 1970s, believe it or not, as an Apple dealer at the late 70s, going to meetings with Steve Jobs. So that kind of got me hooked on the industry. And through that journey, I was a VAR, value-added reseller. Then we became a managed service provider, all the different terms and different business twists that happened. But I found out in the 1990s how important cybersecurity was and compliance, because one of our clients made some parts and pieces for the space shuttle. Okay. And we had to work with them to help them meet the compliance requirements for NASA. And then when HIPAA came out and other regulations, I turned those into dollars, big dollars, by marketing my company, not as a managed service provider, but as a compliance specialist, cybersecurity and compliance specialist. And we would talk to prospects about their compliance requirements. These were the CEOs and the CFOs, and telling them, these are the things you need to do. We know how to help you do that. And through that, I became the outsourced chief information officer for a hospital, and also in a different time for a K-12 school district. So it was a huge opportunity. Now I've got a consulting company. We have a referral program where MSPs send us a lot of clients that are in the regulated industries and need help. And we also have Semel Systems, which is a library of training tools and tools to make it easy on you as an MSP to implement things like the NIST cybersecurity framework, to do better assessments, to comply, to comply with HIPAA and comply with CMMC and some of these other regulations.
Cool. So you and I have worked together for well over a year on the cannabis vertical. Again, you're bringing your domain expertise at compliance and some other things, and I bring what I bring. We walked the floor at the show of shows that my listeners certainly know about, the MJ BizCon last December in Las Vegas. It was amazing. You walk up to a booth and you get in a conversation with the ISV, an independent software vendor. So we're sticking to the knitting with tech. You weren't off talking to the John Deere tractor dealer. And tell us about that conversation, because you were able to convince them that everybody has needs to be thinking about compliance.
Well, they do, but cybersecurity too, and these things interrelate. So first of all, data has value, and it's important for every business leader. And I'm not talking about the MSPs, I'm talking about the end user clients in any industry, to realize that they have data that has value to them and also has value to others who may want to steal it and leverage it. So that's one of the first discussions. But what happened at the show was that I would talk to a software vendor who had, for example, a point of sale system for cannabis dispensaries. And these were the back ends. This is where the cloud service held the data for the dispensaries. And the executives would say to me, well, we don't have compliance requirements because marijuana is illegal at the federal level, so HIPAA doesn't apply. And I said, well, you're right, but what about the state laws? And they go, what state laws? I go, well, all 50 states have data breach laws that protect social security numbers and driver's licenses.
Yep.
And and there's other information as well too, like credit cards and things like that. So from a compliance standpoint, they didn't think that they would have to do anything to comply. But when I showed them what the state laws are, and you've got states like Massachusetts and Florida and Texas and California that have stricter laws. Nevada, where I live, has stricter laws than many of the other states. So they didn't realize this. And if they get hacked, keep in mind that the back end is where your data is. If you're reselling a service, or if your client is a dispensary and they're using one of these online services, If that data gets hacked, it's up to the dispensary to notify their customers that this has happened. And there have been breaches in the cannabis industry before. So part of this is that as a managed service provider, you can help secure the data and help prevent the incident from happening. But even if you can't prevent it, you can help the client with their incident response.
Yeah, yeah. And what I want to do month to month to month is kind of double click into some of the specificity, and you're certainly the right man for that. Where can people find out more information about you, your consulting company, and so on? What's the easiest URL?
So we've got two different businesses,
Okay.
Semel Consulting, SEMEL consulting.com, and also semelsystems.com. And that's where the tools are for MSPs to learn more about compliance, to do better assessments, and to understand all the different compliance opportunities. So outside of the cannabis related businesses, if you get an opportunity with an accounting firm or a law firm or a defense contractor, our compliance for profit tool has all the different modules in there where if you got a call today, and let's say today's Thursday, and you've got a meeting Monday morning with this entity and you've never done business in that industry before, go look at compliance for profit. It's got all the information you need to know to sound like an authority when you walk in there for your meeting.
Yeah, and I'm just making a note, Mike. I just landed on our topic for next month, which will be supporting those ancillary businesses. That support the cannabis vertical. We'll stay focused on that. Mike, have a great month. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me, Harry.